I have like a burning hatred. Well, not like a burning hatred, but um. Okay, we're gonna be talking about. We're just gonna be talking about Minecraft content, and we're not gonna do anything special. We're not gonna do anything special, but we have a bit of a another stream as I'm trying to find a nice sweet spot between content. Um, we're gonna play some music in the background as well, just so you know the atmosphere is a little more lively. I suppose that's the right word. Um, I've been doing like a couple of live streams so far, relatively short ones because I've been trying to test the quality on YouTube and whatnot. I've been trying to test my settings on YouTube and my little setup because I didn't have a YouTube like base setup, and so now I do. Now I have a little YouTube setup here because usually I stream on Twitch, but Twitch wasn't like. I decided to like I wanted to like expand my horizons a little bit while I still could, right? Because I'm not that big on Twitch. I'm not like crazy like I'm an affiliate, but like that's like the most of it. That's the most of it, and you know, like as of basic stuff, I feel like the video I uploaded previously on this channel, which was my first serious video, I enjoyed making that quite a lot. It was very nice to make to me. And personally, that's because it was very how do I put it? How do I like explain that properly? It was my first like really serious video that like I actually put like good time and effort in, and like I researched stuff. I tried to portray my knowledge about the topic that I chose, in a proper way, and like a viable, concise video way. And that was not that easy actually, because I was like struggling to find a good balance between what kind of format do I want, what do I want the video to flow like, what do I want it to pace like, and that's just kind of like big thing. And but besides that, oh sorry chat, my throat is a little scratchy, so I'm gonna take a sip of water. Right, a sip of water has been taken, and we're gonna be talking again. Yeah, like the direction of the stream isn't very solid at all, and we're probably gonna be rambling about the most random stuff I can think of. But that's like kind of like something you should really expect from me at this point, because again, I'm really happy with what I've achieved today, or what I've achieved in the last few days. The video got a lot of positive feedback, and I'm really happy about that, because I did not like fully expect the amount of response it was going to get. Definitely not. And that was like the biggest part for me. Like that part was like, like, oh yeah, I got like 100 views in the first 5 hours, and I thought that was it. I thought that would be it, and that was said and done for that video. And then I went to nap, and then I woke up to like it kept increasing and increasing, and I was like, Did I actually make a good video? And that was like the entire thought in my mind. Like, did I actually just make good content? Did I just make something that people want to see? And that was crazy to me. That was crazy to me. But you know, I really gotta thank everyone who did watch the video, because I can't really like celebrate without you people actually watching the video. And that was like, I'm just really ecstatic about all of it, and I really do want to like continue making content. But I also realized that that format alone, you know, like, it's not a video essay. It's just like, because it's too short to be a video essay, but it's definitely like in that style, right? It's like an informative, short little informative video, in the style of a short little informative video. And that's like hard to really, it's hard to find like consistent topics on, because you'd have to like consistently find something to actually like talk about. And in the Minecraft community, that's possible. That's very possible. But it's very hard in the sense that I'm like an even, you know, a more specific niche of just Minecraft, modern Minecraft content. And that's when you get into the territory of I need something like commentary. I need something like you know, like something more sustainable that isn't just you know, that video essay, small video essay type content, because that's not sustainable. That's not, I will run out of ideas eventually, essentially. Like, that's kind of bound to happen. And you know, this is kind of like how it goes. But I would want to like make videos on ideas that are like actually good. I wouldn't want to like make videos on ideas that are like haphazard, or like you know, yeah, I call it, I say very like crudely, but there's a lot of like people who like use, like, crank out content. That is fine, and I respect it. I do respect it, don't worry. I'm not gonna call anyone out, or like criticize people, because I have no place to do that. But definitely, like, in many ways, I often feel as if YouTube content, like, I mean, yeah, of course, YouTube content, it applies to like the majority of YouTube, but just in many ways, Minecraft content on YouTube has just really shitified, and that's really been like a hard thing to deal with for me, because I realized that a lot of the content on YouTube about Minecraft has just become like gaming the algorithm every time you upload, and that's it. Like, there's many like parodies on the topic, and you know how Minecraft videos are like absolutely degrading in quality. And you know, there's a lot of videos talking about it, and there's a lot of people talking about it as well, like silently in the comments of many videos, or you know, criticizing creators for I mean, you know, again, I think that high engagement content is allowed to exist, and it should be allowed to exist. But what many creators seem to forget, and you know, what I sometimes seem to forget, no amount of editing, and you know, you could say that doesn't apply in all cases, but I'd say it applies in like a good amount of cases. No amount of editing will actually make your video good if it isn't like of substance. Like, you can have like the most egregious amount of retention editing in your video. It doesn't matter if you just don't have anything of substance in the video, and that's kind of like what I think people forget. But like, they game the algorithm, and then they get tons of views, and then it works. And you know, I'm not one to say that like you shouldn't do that. It works. It does. It really does. It just works. But you're sacrificing, you know, content that actually gives something of worth to the viewer, and that is like the biggest part that I kind of dislike. It's not intuitive at all, because people are so used to like how just being able to game the algorithm and just succeed. But you know, maybe like one day everyone gets sick and tired of what people are doing currently on YouTube, and everyone tries to like shift towards a different meta. And like, what do you do then? Like, imagine all the people who rely on like super high engagement content that is like full of jump cuts and like full of like just like editing here and there, like 50 different effects in the first like 5 seconds. Imagine all the people that would fall out because of that. And that's kind of like the big thing I kind of want to anticipate, because again, I'm not going to criticize people, but I have a very personal disdain, like a distaste for a super high retention content. It is not my cup of tea. It's not my cup of tea, and especially not when it's like how do I put it? It's like forced, you know. You can have high retention editing and it could be good. Like adding editing to a video, like any type of style, isn't going to make it worse or better. It's when you misuse it and you sacrifice the quality of the story of the main video idea to refresh the attention of someone's attention in the audience, or like to refresh the hook, so to speak. You know, because you know you have a video and you watch the first 5 seconds, and unless you're like hooked in those 5 seconds, you click off, obviously, because you know that's how things work nowadays, especially with YouTube Shorts. If you can't get their attention in like, you know, the first like 5 seconds, it's over. They're not getting your view, and you know they're gonna be swiped away. But I've known many people who personally like not like have like something more of an intolerance against super high retention content and like super high engagement style editing, and I relate to that on such a high level, because the amount of like it's not like using content cleverly, because you're not using it in any real way. You're just kind of like gaming the algorithm, as I said before. And you know, I might be repeating myself quite a lot, but it keeps sacrificing the story of a video, or like the point of a video. And that's when I think people should like reconsider their approach to the content. And you know, sadly, a lot of the viral shit, like a lot of the stuff that goes viral, it's just going to appear like regardless of where you go. And you know, you can't avoid it, but you definitely, I definitely think there's like slowly a shift happening within YouTube communities and whatnot, because I've seen people like openly say like, yo, yeah, retention editing absolutely is unbearable. And a lot of editors, I've had some friends who edit videos, and they told me like people rarely ever want to like pay for like the equivalent amount of work with how over the top retention editing actually is. Which, you know, it makes sense, because retention editing is probably gonna take like a lot longer than any like other style of video, like a bit more of a a slow but cohesive video that like has pacing and whatnot, that isn't just forcing vine booms every second. And you know, I could go on a whole rant about all the YouTube metas that have taken place over the years, but I'm not going to, because I am a sane person and I'm not going to put people through that. But you know, it's just, it is what it is, and the YouTube meta always changes like every like, I would say it changes far slower than Twitch. Well, okay, but that's kind of a lie, because Twitch meta has kind of always remained the same. It's not really changed over the years because, you know, stagnation and whatnot. The way the things work over there is like wildly different, and also like not that great. Which is kind of why I've been trying to expand towards YouTube, because I feel like okay, people kind of get wrong that the discoverability on YouTube is worse, because you could say that it's true, but Twitch is like, okay, so on Twitch, you're only discoverable when you're live. You're only like, people can only find you when you're live unless they like explicitly search for you. Practically, that's like practically what happens. But on YouTube, your content is always sitting there, and you know, when you're done with a live stream, when you're done like talking to people on live, you can save that as like a live, a separate VOD, and that's fine. You know, people can watch it in the future. But your content, your actual like videos, will then also be like more of a funnel for your live streams, and people will be able to discover your content, and then your live streams much easier. And you know, there's an argument to be made about initial discoverability and like, you know, SEO, and having the knowledge of how do people find me on YouTube, how do people, how is like, what is the best title, what is the best thumbnail and whatnot. And you know, that's the hard part, and that's always been the hard part in many ways, because it's not something you can always master, especially because it varies between how do I put it? It varies between audiences as well, because you're not gonna use the same thumbnails for a DIY office working video as you are a Minecraft montage. You're not gonna do that. And you know, you could say that your thumbnail should always fit who you're trying to target. Is definitely something I've heard. So like, if you're making like a really informative video, you want to have like a thumbnail that is not like misleading or too eye-catchy, like too distracted from what it's trying to do. Because if you're trying to use like informative content to really if your niche is informative content, and that's like a broad topic as well, because you could technically say that DIY videos are under informative content, but you want like to fit what your goal is. If it's practical, you probably want to have at least like a little bit of like conciseness in your thumbnail, and show what you're actually going to do, like what the point is of the video. Like you like, I don't know, like how to repair a vacuum cleaner. Obviously you do something with a vacuum cleaner in a thumbnail. You're not gonna like put some random red arrows everywhere, or are you? I mean, you could put some random red arrows in the thumbnail about repairing a vacuum, but it's not great. It's not gonna perform well, probably, because it's just like the contrast is too much between DIY and like clickbait thumbnail. But for example, on the other end, you wouldn't use a DIY thumbnail style video or like DIY style thumbnail on a Minecraft video. You wouldn't. I mean, again, you always can. There's always the option that you do, but, and you know, it might work because it's like really, it's that absurd that people might be curious, and you could argue that then it like, oh, it works, but in any realistic scenario, that does not work. Obviously not, because it doesn't match the content. But yeah, people will, and I've said this time and time again, a thumbnail, like no matter how terrible it is often better than none at all. Like a thumbnail is probably much better than like none at all, because it at least like it's not just like raw footage, like a picture of raw footage. It'll actually be like something, at least something eye-catching in some way, maybe in a horrible way. But and even my thumbnails are not great. I do not know like modern thumbnail design, and that's kind of gonna happen. And I'm not like, definitely not a thumbnail guru that can help you make the most appealing high CTR thumbnails ever. Definitely not. And also, like, a lot of those thumbnails are like very exaggerated, and it's like every other thumbnail you see has like a really surprised face in it with a really like shocked expression, and like that, something about that to me doesn't feel right to do in many ways. And there's people that will disagree with me and say that's like fine and that's like good and appealing, and I'm like, sure, you can find that good and appealing and like fun to click on, or like, oh, what's this, and like it catches your eye. But like something about like those types of thumbnails to me. I'm gonna drink some more water here because my throat is getting a bit scratchy again. Right. Where were we? You're right. Thumbnails and whatnot, content. It's like there's so much that goes into being a content creator that it's like a whole new world depending on where you stand. In many ways, because you never know when you're gonna like blow up. You never know when your next video is gonna like absolutely explode. And that's, I mean, you could probably tell if it's like, this is not like with a lot of effort put into it. Probably tell. But it really depends, and especially on your niche as well. Like I have a friend, or like I have many friends who've tried making Team Fortress 2 content, and that works. That is fine. And I think it's like, what was I gonna say? I forgot what I was gonna say. I forgot what I was going to say. That's unfortunate. I mean, obviously, if you have a smaller sample size, or like people of a smaller community, or like a smaller niche, you're gonna have to like, and depending on how much competition there is in that niche, you're really gonna have to like compete with like either really good people, or you're gonna have to be like slightly above average, and you'll be fine. But if there's no competitors, if you have like a niche that like no one makes videos about, you kind of like have a golden opportunity if there's at least like a sizable amount of interest in that topic. And even if there isn't, you could at least at the very least become like the absolute king or queen or whatever of that niche, of that category, because there's no one else to compete with. Could literally define the level of content that is produced in that category, of course. But that's in the scenario that you have no competitors in your like respective category, which like almost never happens. So yeah, it's kind of like up to you, I guess. But it's mostly just like, do what you. I think that many people think that they should make what gets clicks, but I feel like there needs to be a balance. There needs to be a balance between making what gets clicks and making what actually has substance in what you're passionate for. And you know, there's a lot of things that go into finding that balance. And it's not always easy. Definitely not. It took me quite a while because I wanted to make at least some kind of content that I knew what I would be passionate about. And you know, Minecraft, I felt nervous about Minecraft because it's very saturated, but I'm not really that interested in vanilla. So I built up a bit of a courage to think like, oh, what can I do that is like really specific? And I thought, oh, modded Minecraft. But like, how can I do that in a way that is like not locking myself into like the sphere of modded Minecraft players? And that's the biggest part, like, especially with like really niche things. Like Minecraft isn't that niche, but it's kind of oversaturated. But modded Minecraft in many ways is depending on the style of it, is either really oversaturated or like completely undiscovered, and like no one does it, or like, you know, like modded let's plays, they still happen, they definitely do still happen, but they've dwindled over the years quite a lot. And you know, the people who do them kind of just go unchallenged, and they get like a few hundred or a few thousand views per video. And you know, that's fine, that works. It's as long as it's I think like a lot of people don't understand that like not everyone is chasing a wild amount of views on this platform. Definitely not. And that's kind of like where I think I'm going to wrap up this conversation, of course. If you ever like want to become a content creator yourself, the only really message I have is like, no matter what your level is, like me, I'm still like really fresh, but like I just kind of want to learn about it all. Consistency is key, obviously. And you know, I've had multiple flops, but like low effort flop of elsewhere on other platforms that, you know, didn't do well. And you know, spend a lot of time not actually creating content and just, you know, streaming on Twitch because I felt like I need to become good at talking to people, or just like talking to the screen in a really relaxing but captivating way with my somewhat monotone voice. And that's you know, I'd say that paid off. But yeah, I think I'm gonna conclude this short little, like, very short little live stream. And you know, I'm not gonna beat around the bush too much. So thanks everyone for watching, and I'll probably see you soon, very next time. But thanks for watching everyone, and I'll see you next time.